They laughed at you. They scoffed when you said you had a dream. They rolled their eyes when you said you wanted more out of life. They whispered behind your back, mocked you to your face, and dismissed every ounce of passion you held as foolish fantasy. But let me tell you something right now. That laughter was fuel. The world tried to box you in. They tried to hand you the script they'd written for your life, a life of mediocrity, of settling, of just getting by. And when you dared to rip that script in half and write your own, they laughed. They told you to be realistic, to stop dreaming, to stop believing, to stop trying. But here's the truth they never saw coming. You weren't built to be realistic. You weren't born to play small. You weren't created to blend in, to shut up, to sit down and accept whatever life handed you. You were made to rise. And every time they laughed, every time they doubted, every time they whispered, they gave you the fire you needed to become unstoppable. Because you didn't just want this. You needed this. You needed to break free, to prove to the world, no, to yourself, that there was something inside you that could not be silenced. That when the odds were stacked, when the nights were long and the days were brutal, when no one clapped, when no one believed, when no one stayed by your side, you kept moving anyway. You worked when it hurt. You worked when you were tired. You worked when everyone else went home. Because you understood something the doubters never could. Greatness is born in solitude, in silence, in the shadows where no one is watching, where no one is cheering, where the only voice urging you forward is your own. Let them laugh, let them doubt, let them scoff, mock, and roll their eyes. Because while they were wasting their breath judging you, you were building something they could never understand. You were becoming. You were transforming. You were evolving into a force that could not be contained. And now they don't laugh anymore, do they? Now they watch. Now they whisper a different kind of message. Now they wonder how you did it, where you found the strength, how you stayed standing after every setback, after every storm, after every punch that should have knocked you out. Here's how. You refuse to quit. That's it. Not talent, not luck, not magic, just refusal. You refuse to be average. You refuse to let the opinions of others become the definition of your worth. You refuse to stay down. Every day, you woke up with fire in your belly and pain in your bones, and you still moved. You still showed up. You still climbed. You still bled for what you believed in. They laughed because they didn't understand your obsession, your hunger, your need to push beyond every limit. But you did. You understood that the climb would be ugly. You knew the road would be lonely. You expected the world to laugh. But you also knew this. They would stop laughing. Because one day you would rise so high, they couldn't ignore you. One day you would outwork every single person who doubted you. One day your name would echo in rooms you never even dreamed of entering. And when that day came, you wouldn't need revenge. You wouldn't need validation. You wouldn't even need to say, I told you so. Because your life would be the loudest message of all. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You don't need anyone to say it's possible. You just need to want it more than they want you to quit. And you do. That's why you're still here. Still hungry, still fighting, still clawing your way forward. And every scar, every bruise, every broken piece you carry, that's not weakness. That's proof. Proof that when the storm came, you stood your ground. Proof that when life broke your heart, you still moved forward. Proof that no matter how many times you fell, you never stayed down. They laughed at your dreams because they were too scared to chase their own. They tried to kill your fire because they couldn't light their own. They told you it couldn't be done because they were afraid of what would happen if you proved them wrong. Well, guess what? You did. You outworked them. You outlasted them. You outgrew the limits they placed on you, and you're not done yet. You didn't come this far to stop now. You didn't bleed this long just to coast. You didn't suffer this much just to settle. No, this is only the beginning. You're just getting warmed up. You're just finding your rhythm. You're just stepping into the greatness you were always meant for. So if you're still fighting right now, if you're still in the middle of the storm, let me say this. Do not stop. Not now, not ever. Because the people who laugh, they don't last. But those who outwork everyone, they leave legacies. You're writing your legacy with every step you take, with every hour you put in, with every no you turn into a watch me. You have a fire inside that no one can extinguish. Not the critics, not the failures, not the heartbreak, the rejection, or the pain. You are still standing, and the world is starting to see what you always knew, that you were never the joke. You were the threat, and now you are the storm. So keep pushing, keep fighting, keep showing up like your life depends on it, because it does. And when you're tired, when you're broken, when you feel like you have nothing left, dig deeper, because that's where the magic lives. Not in comfort, not in safety, not in ease, but in the grind, in the battle, in the fire that forges the unbreakable. You are not here to be liked. You are here to rise. So let them laugh, let them doubt, let them think they know who you are, because by the time they figure it out, it will be too late. You'll already be at the top, and they'll be left wondering how the one they mocked, doubted, and dismissed outworked everyone. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, like, and drop a comment below. Tell me, what's one thing you're committing to change today? Because this isn't just about watching videos. It's about leveling up your life. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. Because I promise you, this is just the beginning. Now get up, get moving, and make it happen.